So about a month ago I made a video talking about the flame maple tops that come on Epiphone guitars these days, and how they kinda suck massive gorilla ass. And in that video I got quite a few comments saying that the flame tops on Gibson guitars really aren't that much better these days either, and that I should make a video on those as well. And unlike a politician, I actually want to give the people what they want. So without further ado, what is up all you gassy Gibson guitar gooners? DenDenBMX here, and in today's video I'm gonna ask Gibson a question. What's going on with your flame tops, dude? You know, okay, I should have done this earlier, but you know, since this video is about Gibson guitars, I should probably put my Gibson guitars in the background instead of the LTDs. Idiot! You freaking moron! We're actually gonna use that one here shortly, and I'll put my studio back here too. It's a Gibson after all. Now I mentioned this in the Epiphone video, but Gibson's lawyers are demented. They are fighting their own war, and they have no rules, no boundaries. They don't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. They sail a ship of cruelty through the high seas of our never-ending nightmares. They've sued 7 people before I've even finished this sentence. Their litigiousness and willingness to sue you into the ground is rivaled only by the American healthcare industry. They will unironically try to take away your home if you even look at a Les Paul the wrong way. They'll also pour wet concrete down your urethra. So I'm going to make it very clear that everything I say in today's video is nothing more than my subjective opinion. I'm not making any definitive claims or saying that anything is an objective fact in a defamatory way. I am just giving my opinion based off my anecdotal research. Please do not bring down the wrath of God on my tight little boy ass. For real though, Gibson's lawyers have really got to unclench. Like, that can't be good for their rectal health. If they squeeze any harder, they're gonna start smashing atoms. Now before we start looking at guitars, I have to explain something. In our last video on this topic, we were talking about the flame maple tops on Epiphone guitars. But Epiphones use what is called a flamed maple veneer, which is flamed maple, but it's cut almost thinner than that slice of pizza your employer gave you for all your hard work last year. And they take that paper thin veneer and they place it on top of a full thickness plain maple cap. However, Gibsons just have a full-blown 3/4 inch thick flamed maple cap. This results in Gibson's tops having what the cool kids like to call movement. So depending on what angle you're looking at the top from, it can look like an entirely different guitar. Let's look at my Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s in unburst, for example. From some angles, it looks like a plain top. From other angles, it's almost as flamey as your favorite gay bar. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about, Craig. See right here, it's like a plain top, but then, god damn, I got a cool ass Les Paul, guys. I really lucked out on the top with this thing. Now it is also important to mention the grading scale that Gibson uses for their flame tops, because they use this scale to determine the price they're gonna sell a guitar for. Now all the guitars we're gonna look at today will either have AA or AAA rated flame tops. Now this grading system has always been rather vague and never really set in stone by any guitar brand, and I think that is very much on purpose. But in my humble, ego-free, extra hung opinion, I think AA figuring is on the lighter side. Maybe the flame isn't that consistent, maybe the flame isn't even on both sides of the book matching, maybe you can really only see the flame from certain angles, or maybe from certain angles the flame completely disappears. While AAA in my mind should have very clearly visible figuring over most of the top. And it should still look pretty flamed no matter what angle you're looking at the guitar from. Maybe your opinion is a little bit different, and that's fine. But this is my video, so you're wrong. Now for the guitars we're gonna sick our little peepers on today, we're only gonna use Sweetwater for our sample pool. So let's finally look at some guitars. We are gonna start off by looking at the base 50s and 60s figured Gibson Les Paul Standards. In their base state, these Les Paul Standards come with a AA flamed maple top. And at the time of me making this video in the year of our Lord 2025, these guitars retail for $2,800, which is about $300 more than what I paid for mine back in 2021. Price gouging. And as we start looking at the ones that were available on Sweetwater when I was doing research for this video, we can notice a few things. First off, when you look at a lot of these guitars from face on, they don't look that flamey at all. But once you look at them from an angle, suddenly all this flame shows up. Just like your dad that finally came back from getting lottery tickets almost 19 years ago. Did he win? This is one of the reasons why I only wanted to use Sweetwater for the Gibson video. Because seeing these guitars from only one angle doesn't always give you an honest idea of what the guitar could actually look like. When I bought mine, I thought I was basically gonna get a plain top, but then I actually received it and I was very, very pleasantly surprised with how flamey it actually was. These full thickness flame maple caps can be quite the sneaky little bitch sometimes. Another thing to note that based off these tops, it seems in my opinion, that Gibson's playing it pretty fast and loose with the AA rating. I think the Iced Tea ones show this off the best. 3 of them range from barely flamey at all to a decent flame, and then there's that one that looks like the Human Torch farted his whole ass on it. I want to note that the ones with the honey amber finish are also pretty interesting, because while all of the honey amber ones on Sweetwater do have a pretty good flame, they have that weird blurry Epiphone flame that we talked so much about in the last video. Like, these look really similar to the Epiphone Lazarus. They've got that flame that's like out of focus. In the Epiphone video, a lot of people thought that was caused by the pseudo VOS finish that Epiphone uses. I thought it may have been because Epiphone might have been cutting their veneers a little bit thinner than everyone else, but these honey amber Gibsons have a full thickness flamed maple cap, and they come in a gloss finish, yet they still look like that. I'm starting to think it may just be a certain kind of flame maple that Gibson and Epiphone specifically are using that, for whatever reason, has that blurry watercolor-esque look. But it's interesting that it seems like only the honey amber Gibsons have these tops. Now, another reason I wanted to use Sweetwater for this video is because they also have a lot of 50s and 60s Les Paul standards that come with AAA tops. Now, these are advertised as coming with either a AAA top or what is known as a custom shop top. Now, the ones advertised to come with a AAA top have a $200 premium, so those retail for $3,000. But the ones advertised to come with a custom shop top come with a $500 premium, and those retail for a whopping $3,300. Price gouging. However, if you scroll down to the bio on those custom shop tops, Sweetwater says those are also just AAA tops. So what's the difference between the two? I have no idea. They say the custom shop tops are reserved for the custom shop, so I don't know if they like specifically stole those tops from the Gibson custom shop or if it's just some marketing jargon to put an even higher premium on these. Allegedly. But let's look at the custom shop top ones first, because there aren't that many of those. And I will say that the Dirty Lemon Burst ones that they had in stock have some pretty solid AAA tops. I do wish the one on the left was a little bit more fully flamed when you're looking at it from head on, but I'm kind of nitpicking. However, again, these have a $500 premium on them. So I think nitpicking the tops on these is pretty justified. I think for that kind of premium, these should have a very, very noticeable increase in flame from both the base versions and even the AAA top versions. And that did seem to be the case until I looked at the Tobacco Burst custom shop tops. Now, don't get me wrong, these are still really flamey, and yeah, I could see them being rated AAA, but most of them have that really small pinstripey flame. Like, the one in the middle just looks like one of those grid papers you'd use in school. And I mean, if you like that kind of flame, all the power to you, but I feel like you could find those kinds of tops without the $500 premium. Like, this guitar is $3,300, but this guitar is $2,800. Like, you know what I'm saying? Another thing to note is that the Dirty Lemon Burst custom shop tops also said they come with what are called Sugar Bucker pickups, which are apparently a Sweetwater exclusive version of the Burst Buckers, which I think is fun because, you know, they're called Sweetwater and they named them Sugar Bucker pickups, and they give you candy with every order, and their headquarters is more like a playground than it is a place of business. Sweetwater may be the closest thing we have to a real-life Wonka factory, is what I'm getting at. But anyway, I thought the Sugar Buckers may be another reason why these have a $500 premium on them, but it seems like you can get a custom shop top version with or without the Sugar Buckers, and it's still the same price. The Sugar Buckers don't seem to affect the price at all. I really like saying Sugar Buckers. Sugar Buckers. But now let's look at some of the $3,000 AAA top versions, starting with the Gibson Greenie. Out of the 3 they have in stock, I would say 2 of the tops are very much AAA. That right one in particular is especially bussin'. However, while that one on the left is the one that looks the closest to the actual Greenie, I personally would not call that a AAA top. For the Sweetwater exclusive Viper Blue AAA tops, the center right one, definitely AAA. Calling the center left top AAA is a bit of a reach in my mind, but I guess I could see how someone would say that's AAA. Far right top, not really AAA in my mind. Far left top, the blue is so dark that I can't even really see the flame on it, so I don't know. Heritage Cherry Sunburst. From an angle, these ones look pretty solidly AAA. However, from face on, the one on the left does leave quite a bit to be desired. Remember, in my opinion, I think AAA tops should have pretty solid flameage from every angle. angle. But from face on, this one almost looks like a plain top. Lastly, let's check out the Sweetwater exclusive Lemon Burst. The one on the right, solid AAA in my mind. From both angles, it looks great. The one on the left is a AA top. From face on, it just straight up looks like a plain top, and from an angle, it only has little squirts of flame. Another thing, I hate that they call this a Lemon Burst finish, because that is not Lemon Burst. Unburst, Dirty Lemon Burst, and Honey Amber are much closer to what Lemon Burst actually looks like. This looks like Bleached Asshole Burst or something. Lemon Bursts don't have a blisteringly white center that looks like your phone when you turn it on with the brightness too high in a dark room. So what's the takeaway here? It seems like for the standard AA tops, it's a crapshoot. You can find some with almost no flame, you can find some with some pretty mid flame, and you can also find some with some pretty dang good flame. You just kind of gotta look around and find the one that you like the most. And it seems like these AAA top versions are for the people that don't want to have to look around. Like if you're willing to pay a premium, it's guaranteed that you'll get a good top. At least that's the idea in theory. Because based off our sample pool, that doesn't always seem to be the case, in my opinion. Based off what I saw and just how much more expensive they are, I wish all of the custom shop top versions had flame tops as good as the Dirty Lemon Burst ones. For a $500 premium, I think all of these custom shop tops should be a significant upgrade in the flame, and that didn't seem to be quite the case, in my opinion. Like if you just looked around for a little bit, I can almost guarantee you'll find a AA rated Les Paul Standard that's just as flamed. And then you could buy an Epiphone with the $500 that you saved. Now to wrap up this video, let's talk about the brand spanking new Les Paul Studio Session. Now when these were announced, I honestly wasn't that interested in these little creatures. A $2,000 Les Paul Studio just kind of sounds like a bad joke to me. Like we got $2,000 Les Paul Studios before we got GTA 6. However, just out of curiosity, when I was doing research for this video, I looked at the Honey Burst version on Sweetwater, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see that it came with natural binding. And since these have a AA flame maple top, a couple of these looked really, really cool. Flamed natural binding is my kink. This may be a hot take, but if it's flamed natural binding, I think that looks 10 times classier than just regular binding. I think it is beautiful. Like if these were out back when I was buying my Les Paul Standard, I may have honestly just bought one of these, just for the flamed natural binding. However, in the most Gibson move imaginable, for some dumbass reason, the Honey Burst version is the only version that comes with natural binding. The Ebony, Bourbon, and Cobalt Burst versions don't have natural binding.
So let me get this straight, dumbass!
Gibson, why? This was the easiest dunk on planet Earth. Imagine how much better the Cobalt Burst version would look if it had flamed natural binding on it. I'm glad the Honey Burst version has it, but there's no reason that the other ones shouldn't have it, because that small yet very significant visual upgrade really softens the blow of that $2,000 price tag. With the flamed natural binding, I can understand why these are $2,000, but without that, everyone just sees these as Les Paul Studios that are price gouged into the sun. If these have flame tops and you're not putting actual binding on them, then why not show off all of the top's potential with natural binding? That would make these a unique option in Gibson's range of guitars, which again would really help justify the questionable price tag these have, especially when all you need to do some natural binding is just put some masking tape on it. Please add natural binding to these. My God, that should have been the easiest decision that anyone on planet Earth has ever made. All in all, to wrap up this video, I would say that if you are looking to buy a Gibson Les Paul Standard and you want to get one with a decent flame top, then I would recommend you look on Sweetwater or look at places like Wildwood or look for listings that have lots of pictures of the guitar at different angles. With the flame tops on Gibson Les Pauls, there's a lot of variance in what you can get. If you're ordering from Guitar Center or Zounds or Gibson's website or any place that doesn't show you pictures of the actual guitar they're selling, you're basically gambling. However, if you're willing to spend some time and look around at a bunch of different places, you can easily make it much less of a gamble. If they only use stock photos or the photos aren't very good, don't be afraid to ask for more pictures. And if they won't give you more pictures, look somewhere else. The cheapest guitar we looked at today was $2,000. If you're willing to spend that much money, you should know exactly what guitar you are going to get before ordering it. So don't be afraid to be annoying and ask for pictures. It's not an unreasonable request at all. That way you can get a really good idea of what the top actually looks like. That way you can pick the absolute best one for you. And with that, I think we are going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate if you did all the YouTube bullshit, you know, leave a like, really helps me, really helps the engagement on this video. Leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions. You Gibson old farts are a lively bunch, so I definitely want to know what you guys think. Share the video around. There is a demon that lives in a secret place in my mouth. So if you regularly watch this channel and you haven't already subscribed, he is going to make it to where no matter how much looking you do, your Gibson Les Paul is going to come with a bad top. My camera is about to unalive itself, so real quick, I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Jet, Solar Flare, Suno Verma, Rob Heath, Bad Joke Gaming, Brandon's Ballast on Corner, Bandage Knives, Jan Chocolate, Leagues Beneath, and Frizz Flips. These bad bitches are my current channel members, and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join these guys, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, and just help support this channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as 3 schmeckles. And if you don't want to join a membership, but you still want to support the channel in that way, just as like a one-time thing, you can click the super thanks button down there. It's like a little tip jar, but I am done being a tool. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.